Welcome, everyone, to the Select Board meeting of March 1st. Let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Warrants and bills are done. We have an agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay. Minutes of the last meeting?
We're going to table those
Okay.
until next week.
All right. Jennifer, Town Administrator's Weekly Update.
So first is to let you know that TRC Mike Harwood, who is the gentleman you signed the contract with for the facilities assessment, is looking to come out maybe next Thursday and Friday and start the work.
Okay.
He's ready to go on it. As you'll see a little later in the agenda, we've got some questions on the survey. But I think you guys wanted him to come out right away and get started, and he's willing to do that next week.
Great. Wonderful.
Next is a notice to let you know that nomination papers for the following seats will be available in the town clerk's office beginning at 9 a.m. this Friday, March 3rd. Must be returned no later than Friday, 4 o'clock on Friday, April 14th. Minimum of 25 signatures, no more than 100. The election of officers will be Tuesday, June 13th, and the annual town meeting will be Saturday, June 10th. I have received numerous calls asking if that's a typo, and as you recall, we're doing the town meeting first. We're doing the election. No, the town meeting first, then the election. It's the first time, so it's not a typo.
I think that's gonna work out pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
it's,
so? Okay.
Well, no, I mean, it was always weird, the new selectmen, like myself, when I became elected, I'm sitting there defending somebody else's budget.
Right, yeah, no, in that sense, it makes
And at
sense.
least the person that was helped put through the budget, at least.
Was still there,
tried to do
right.
that, Yep.
There's been some discussion as we had gone through the question on the last ballot about how we can make it more convenient for people to be able to attend town meeting. And one notion is to perhaps reduce the number of warrants in some way of consolidating them so that we can get through them quicker. I've heard other suggestions. I think it would be great if anybody has any suggestions about what could be done. If they could send those, you can email me or anyone here. But I'd love to hear what people's thoughts are on how to do that. There's been a suggestion about some food, some way of daycare. I don't know how that works, but in any event, if we have the ideas, then we can work on determining whether they're feasible, and if so, how we might be able to do them. So for anyone out there in TV land who's listening, if you have some thoughts on this, please send them in.
Perfect.
Okay.
So back to the nomination paper. So the seats were, so the Board of Selectmen are going to be electing 2 seats. Kim Stacy Horn's term is expiring, and we're electing 1 new seat per the citizens petition to move Acton to an eventual 5-member board in 2025. And then 2 school committee member terms are due, Jeanette Burse and Judy Shane. So papers will be available this Friday.
Very good.
Next is an update from the Sheriff's Department. The first one was an investigation in Acton that led to arrest by a Sanford individual who unauthorized taking and transferring of registration and computer privacy from someone in Acton. Next is a suspended registration. The individual in Acton was charged with suspended registration. On February 12th, there was a harassment report on Whippoorwill Lane off of Pinecone in Chapley. Also on the 10th, the Sanborns charged an individual here in Acton with a protective order. February 13th, there was high-speed chase on Route 202 in Lebanon. Vehicle failed to stop. It was eventually terminated for public safety. They later tracked him down. It was a 42-year-old from Chapley who was charged with theft, violation of condition of release, operating after suspension. Later in the next day, he was arrested again for eluding an officer and several other infractions. On the 17th, deputies assisted Department of Health and Human Services of taking custody of an infant in Shapley. On the 23rd, a stolen vehicle from Massachusetts was recovered at a camp on Hussey Hill Road. And then domestic violence terrorizing event that occurred in Shapley. And at the end of the month, they were dispatched to a home on Raccoon Road for a medical emergency. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that is all I have. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I have one more thing. The budget meeting. So we have a budget workshop tomorrow. We are moving things around a little bit, based on some work schedules and other things going on. So Robin, we're gonna have you come in right at 3 for the transfer station. The roads, we're gonna bump up a little bit to 3:30. Will, you said you only had a morning commitment, so that will work for you? Yeah, okay, and I'll double check with Adam. 4 o'clock is gonna be the rec, and then 4:15 is the fire station. Okay?
Okay.
And that's all I have. Just gonna notify Adam while you move on, thank you.
Okay. Any department head or committee chair updates? Okay. Liaison updates? Anyone have anything to report?
I don't.
No.
Good reading.
Old business, investment policy?
So you made the final changes and asked me to send that off to council, where it sits now, waiting a response.
Okay, that's great. So hopefully, in the next meeting?
Oh, yeah.
We can circle back with that? That's great. West Shore Drive culvert?
So, the last meeting, or the meeting before, pardon me if I'm wrong, you got the sketch and you got a 160, 80-page West Shore Road replacement project. Dave and I got an email a day or so ago asking if there was any updates or comments and were we ready to move forward, and yeah.
Well, what we're gonna do, most of it's basic, the sketch and everything, that's all basic. That there, some of the stuff in there, some legal stuff. So I'd like to send that to Joel and have him go through it and make sure everything is legit.
Have them review this contract?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are good with that?
Who's Joel?
Lincoln.
Joe,
Oh, Joe. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kowski.
Okay.
Joel. Did I say Joel?
you did, but.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wasn't gonna correct you.
Oh, I thought I heard it wrong. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, David. All right.
So you guys, did you have any other thoughts on this plan? And,
You know, I did look it over, and I got into the legal, and I said, geez, I think we need counsel to take a look at this, and, what I saw was fine, but I'll be honest, it's not my expertise either, so,
there's a lot of,
I mean, we're paying an engineer to do their thing. Fortunately, we have somebody who knows these things, but it's really on the engineer to make sure this gets done right.
and you have seen, I know that you've seen the emails that I forwarded you. These questions that they're asking me, so they asked for all the minutes, we certainly sent them those, they asked for the sketch, we sent those, this is inland fisheries, right? Is that where
Okay,
Deanna
okay.
works, inland fisheries?
Yeah, he's in
Okay,
the fisheries.
so all those questions that he's asking, am I forwarding those to see if Joe can answer them? I'm just not qualified.
Yeah.
That would be a good
I-
idea,
Yeah.
I would
I
think.
don't, I don't myself, at this point in time, we've already made our decision, and we've had our public hearings, and, we don't plan on having any more that I know of, are we?
No.
But the decision's made, I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
Will, you've had a chance to take a look at the sketch,
I looked at the sketch and like I said, it's 175 pages.
but
so I
the
looked-
sketch itself
Yeah, I did.
is
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, I looked at that, I mean, well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but, it looks pretty good.
A lot of that stuff there in the 180-some pages is just
It's-
stuff they're gonna send with
It's-
everything.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like boilerplate.
Yeah.
Legal.
Yeah.
And I would imagine those documents are sort of standard industry documents that they probably incorporated, but we ought to get counsel to make sure it isn't standard and there's nothing in there that isn't in our best interest.
But the sketch itself,
No, I was happy with the sketch, I looked at all of them, and I read all the notes and everything, so I think we're in pretty good shape, so.
I do too. So other than the legal aspect of it, we
Yeah, we just ought to make sure that, because there were provisions in there about insurance, et cetera. And
Yeah.
those are critical for this project.
Yes.
We also talked at the last meeting, just to clarify that when, and I don't know, I don't think you necessarily have to state this, but when you send a bid document like this out to a contractor in particular, we should encourage any thoughts or comments they have about what's in that document, because, I often find that people are actually doing the work, have some pretty good insight into what's going on, and they can find ways to economize or different ways that might manage some risk better. So we ought to encourage that as part of the process.
Yeah,
I-
and a
I-
lot
I-
of times they'll
I'm
do
sorry, go
that.
ahead.
A lot of times they'll do that when they put their bid in.
Yeah,
They'll do an amendment to it or something saying, if I can do this, this and that.
yeah. I had also, through some contacts that I had, reached out and I don't know, have you got a list of firms that they're proposing?
They gave us, in the conference call, the Zoom meeting that David and I and Maureen had, some were listed off, but until the bid is complete, I mean, I know that David had a list of contractors that did that type of heavy duty. I mean, we expect that Will help give us some names.
I had
I
sent
saw-
you
yeah.
today, 3 or 4.
I mean, it'll be
vendors,
publicized in the internet and,
Large firms.
Yeah.
That do this stuff, so.
We'll let you review the
Cast a
list.
wide net.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to send it out to more people, and,
I think what we do is the same thing as we do with our paving, kind
we
of.
pick the biggest companies that we know of, we
Well,
find.
Yeah.
I asked Maureen, because she deals with these certain contractors on these certain projects.
Yeah.
Give us a list of the ones that you've worked with,
Yep, that's right, that's what it was.
and you send us those. Maybe we can send them the RFP, and then we still have to post it out anyways.
Absolutely, yep.
So, I'd really like to see if we can find another spot where we can post this work.
Okay.
Because nobody ever sees it,
No, that's a
nobody
great
reads the
point.
paper anymore. There's gotta be a construction,
I'll talk to the
Well,
CEO.
actually, I don't think he'd know.
Oh.
But not, I'm talking about for commercial stuff.
Okay.
You got municipality, commercial, residential, and the municipality and the commercial kind of ride together.
I wonder if Sebago would have some ideas.
Sebago and Ransom may know of a website, because they gotta put it out, they put it out somewhere too, because a lot of these guys are gobbling these off, certain, not say websites, but, getting this information from somewhere.
Okay.
So, it'd be nice if we can start advertising different spots, because what we do for advertisement doesn't work at all, it's just wasting the money.
I'll make sure as we get to that I reach out to her
Great.
and your list, Tom.
Okay, anything else on West Shore Drive?
No.
Okay, special town meeting?
As I understand it, based on our last conversation, we're gonna put that off one more week, consider
Yeah.
giving it some thought and see how things,
But we really have to make a decision next week?
yeah.
Next
we
week
need to
on
get
this?
closer.
Next
Okay.
week or the week after, we have to make it.
Well, the
Next week.
deadline to the company was April 30th. It really
Oh,
comes.
yes, yeah,
So,
yeah.
you could do within the next 2 weeks at the latest.
Okay, all right, well, let's try to do it next week if we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, okay. Yep. If we got- Yep.
TSC building survey, have you already covered that?
No, but I'm gonna pass with some down. Like I said, I kept David's packet by accident. Now I don't have access to it, so he gets that one. I
Yeah,
just wanted you
go on.
to see this. I mean, it is extremely lengthy. I hope that you
okay.
take the time. Good.
Okay.
I looked at it.
Oh, you didn't get one either?
You should both have one in your packets. Anyways,
Oh, okay, fine.
I just didn't have my packet.
David doesn't have his whole packet.
Oh, all right.
I guess they why.
I locked my office, my keys in my
I
office.
forgot it in the office.
All right, my dear sweet Kayla's coming to.
Some of this looks like you could breeze right through. No?
You say that, I mean, there's not only there's any breezing in those next 5 or 6 pages, you
Oh,
know.
okay, all right, okay.
What, I mean, I didn't see a lot of breezing, but, Codes has agreed to.
Everything's easy for me when someone else is
Well, I
doing
mean,
it,
there's a
Jennifer.
pad there. We're gonna work on it,
So are
I know that, David may have some knowledge, history of the building, maybe some prior selectmen that I can reach out to. I mean, some of that's, I certainly don't know off the top of my
Well,
head.
if there's some sections I can help with, let me know. Okay?
How's that look, David? I felt like that's what they were doing, I mean, not to sound, I kind of thought that was their assessment.
Well, no, I mean,
And they want one of those done, just so you know, on the fire station building and this building.
This is what they typically would.
Wes?
It's not unusual, for instance, for them to ask the age of.
Well, I mean, I'll give you the
certain
age,
things,
but
yeah.
keep going, it gets much more
Oh,
detailed.
does it? Okay.
And I'm guessing the fire station will have to assist with the building next door.
I haven't seen anything so far that looks out of line.
No, I'm not saying it's
on
out of
page
line.
4. No, I
I'm
mean,
just
that I
saying
wouldn't
it's-
expect them to
Yeah, there's
ask.
just a lot of work.
That's what I meant,
in
not
it.
out of line.
Roofing, exterior,
They want this filled out before they show up?
Yes,
When are they coming?
I,
next Thursday.
Boy,
Oh,
I mean, they want the square footage of the asphalt paving.
I'm gonna call Will for that.
Do it right online.
Perfect. If you could start working on that, I'd appreciate it.
well, so you're gonna ask.
I'm going to reach out to anybody whoever's area I feel like would be best suited to help me,
Okay,
so
yeah,
this is
yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I can help on a lot of.
We got our handyman involved too.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good,
All right,
thank
so I just
you.
wanted you to see what was,
Thank you, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Freedom of information request?
So we have two. The first one is, good afternoon, Jennifer. I am filing a Freedom of Information for the latest plans for ransom engineering. Please include any and all emails, text, et cetera, pertaining to this project from January 1st, 2023. Please note this request is from a taxpayer. Thank you, Leslie Berlin. So,
That is our chair to our road committee, correct?
yes.
Okay. I just wanted to point that out, because when you're the chair of the road committee, you're not just a taxpayer anymore, you're an elected official. And, okay.
So,
Okay.
so anything, so I know we don't have any text regarding
We were
West
planning
Shore
on putting
Drive.
this out anyways, weren't we?
Well, Inland Fisheries has asked for something a little differently. They asked us for any minutes from October 15th, which we
Well, I
already
understand,
done.
but
Which we've given them?
We have given them, we've given them,
Are those the minutes that I reviewed?
yes.
And as I noted, those minutes, I went back and looked at the tapes, and I think some of the references in the minutes were not exactly aligned with what was stated
Right.
per the tapes. And so I could understand why Inland Fisheries might ask those questions based on what the minutes said. When you go back and look at the tapes, it's something different, so.
So I will have staff.
I think we need to revise those minutes, and.
Yes, we're gonna
and-
rewatch them.
Yeah, yeah, and, yeah.
yeah, I mean, when we go through the minutes, I mean, you can obviously overlook that.
No, it's easy, it
Yeah.
was just an innocent mistake.
Yeah.
It was,
What Inland Fishers is doing with the minutes of our meeting, it's kind of interesting, but,
well, I think they had requested them of you, had they not?
Yeah, they sent us an
Yeah.
email and
Yeah.
yeah, and so, which is different than this, but, so what I'm gonna try to do, because as you know, we have an assistant that does the minutes, and my backup assistant is now on vacation, so, I will get to it just as soon as we can, but, I really think, based on a majority of, and I, don't wanna say all of them, but short of the planning board, we don't get minutes from any department or committee because you have the videos. So I'm really going to, size them down and make, there was a brief discussion regarding West Shore Drive. If there's no motions, and we're allowing all the other towns and committees to go to the video, I mean, we should be able to summarize,
That's a good
make ours a
idea.
little smaller.
Do you think we should, in responding to Fish and Game, note that we found that the minutes did not accurately reflect the conversation, and give them a link to the video with the
I
time?
already did.
Oh, you've already
I
done
already
that?
done that,
Great. So at least they can go look at it.
Yeah, we gave them the
and
link. to the
They can
video.
draw their own conclusions at that point.
so skip back, what was the first freedom of information for?
So this was And please include any and all text, emails, anything pertaining to the West Shore Drive project from January 1st.
That's from Leslie.
That's from Leslie.
Now we have one coming from,
Well, Inland Fisheries sent me an email. They didn't make it as a freedom of information. They sent an email saying, we haven't heard anything since the decision was made to go with the in-kind. Can you catch us up and send us a copy of any minutes, any sketches? You know,
I just feel, I don't know what you guys feel about this, but for some reason, something's coincidental here. You've got the chair of our road committee, and we have inland fisheries at the same time asking for the same information, when we've already made a decision on this. It's just, I feel like we're getting backdoored here by the committee that's supposed to give us an advisement.
I mean, as far as I understand, and I hate to ask Will, but he's on the spot, you're not communicating with anybody on West Shore Drive culvert, right? So you don't have anything for this freedom of information. And David, you've been the only contact for the most part.
I don't have anything.
You guys haven't had any, so,
No, pretty much at this point in time, the way I've looked at it from day one, we've had our public hearings.
right.
We got our, whether or not the road committee, whether what they advised, and we didn't go with their advisement. But at the end of the day, we made a decision. We've rolled forward with a set of plans. We've signed off, on everything so far where we're not turning back. So I don't know where either one of these individuals think they're gonna go with this, but if the chair of the road committee continues to want to work on this, she's not doing her job. Her job is to be an advisement to the select board. We've taken the advisement, we've gone forward, find a new project to work on.
The second freedom of information that we have reads, good afternoon, Jennifer. I am filing an FOAA on the Selectmen's pre-meeting of February 8th, 2023. Please provide the official record of the proceedings and also when and where this meeting was noticed. Thank you. So,
Who's that from?
oh, I'm sorry, Leslie Berlin.
Oh, okay.
So, what I replied in the email was that, the board does not have a pre-meeting. The board comes in from 5 to 6, and signs agendas, signs warrants and bills. There was light conversation, we had a conversation about a road bill or a assessment bill. There's light conversations. The window is open, the door is open, it is in the hallway. I recently added to the website because it wasn't there that you guys may be in, and that you and I go over the agenda as the chair.
Yeah.
But I don't have any record of anything because
There are no minutes, because
we don't.
it is not a meeting.
And I told her, we don't make decisions, we don't, so.
No, it's all.
I replied.
We typically we're doing our bills, discussion will happen, we're not making any decisions on nothing. It's no different than what some of the committees do when they're doing their emails back and forth privately behind closed doors, which they do, which we have the emails to prove that. The same people who are asking for the information are the same people who do it. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black. But at the end of the day, the doors are all open. You want to come in, sit on down, we'll entertain you.
Okay. So you're gonna craft a response, or?
I've already responded to one because that's not really a freedom of information because I have nothing to give. I've
So
already,
you've already told her that
I've
there
told
there
her-
is no record, it's
Yeah.
not a meeting, et
and the other
cetera.
one, I just acknowledged, we have 7 days to acknowledge it. I usually acknowledge them when we get them, read them at a meeting, and then I'll,
She knew it wasn't
Answer
a meeting in the
tomorrow.
first place. That was just,
All right, what's next?
All right. Freedom of information. Are we done with that, Jennifer?
yes, sir.
Sebago Tech?
Contract, yep. So last week, you guys agreed to bring them on for the variety of different things that they offer. He's put together a contract he'd like you to review, so if you could just take that home and read it, we'll sign it for next week.
I'm looking for it if you get
I gave you a new one.
I give it a TRC.
No, I
Oh, yep,
passed
there it
one
is, right here.
down.
Okay, thank you. I didn't
Thank
see
you.
those ones come sliding in.
Try to
Okay.
sneak it by.
Yeah, I guess you did.
Okay, we have an executive session coming up, but before going into that, let's open up for public comment. Okay, I guess there's none. Announcements. I can run through them, I guess. Planning Board, 6 o'clock on the March 2nd. Capital Improvements, 5 o'clock on the 6th. Warrant and Finance, 6 o'clock on the 6th of March.
On that one, Tom, so that's the roads and the fire department only, and I did talk to the treasurer, and we will have all of that sent over tomorrow or Friday morning at the
Great,
latest.
okay. Rec Committee at 5:30 on the 7th. These are all March dates, by the way. Board of Selectmen, 6 o'clock on the 8th. Planning Board Workshop, 6 o'clock on the 9th. Warrant and Finance, 6 o'clock on the 13th. Wow, people are busy. Select Board, the 15th at 6 o'clock. Planning Board, the 16th at 6 o'clock. Mary Grant, the 18th at 9:30 a.m. Warrant and Finance, 6 o'clock on the 20th. Special town meeting, this is still
Yeah,
tentative.
no, that date's not working.
Well,
It just didn't come off.
We'll just strike that for now.
Yep.
What date is that?
It's listed at 22nd, but it's probably going to be 1st of
Definitely
Push it
April.
out, yeah.
definitely
Sometime in the 1st of April. Warrant and Finance Committee on the 27th at 6, and Select Board on the 29th at 6. Okay, that covers all the announcements. The only remaining item is an executive session, personnel issues 405-6.A.1. We don't expect there to be any action or discussion after that, so for those of you who don't want to stick around, you won't be missing anything, but we'll come out of the executive session and we plan to adjourn shortly thereafter.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for the personnel issue 4056A1.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay, thank you, everyone. We on, Dan? You are. Okay, we'd like to come back out of executive session, go into general session.
We'll make a motion to come out of executive session, personnel issue 4056A1.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
And now,
Motion to adjourn?
we're going to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Yes. Have a good night.
Thank you for being such a good audience.